hearts race, and the crowd goes wild. All across the nation, the Dirt Track Warriors duke it out for what matters the most: the trophy and the glory. This is Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises.
And welcome back to the show where we talk about what matters the most, the trophy and the glory, for one final time in 2014. Welcome on in to Gas and Glory. It's presented by R&R Enterprises. My name is Kyle Luters. Handsome Devil sitting directly to my left here in the studio, Mr. Neil Quick. Neil, first off, was it a Merry Christmas in the Quick household?
Oh, yeah, of course. It was really nice and great to see the the in-laws and the outlaws all together, but had a great time and no major incidents. That's always a plus.
I like the way that you did that one. You know, you've got the in-laws and then you've got the outlaws. Very nice.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great. I mean, the kids got got a bunch of great gifts, and unfortunately, they've to the age that they get too old and you don't get as many toys, because I like playing with the toys. So, but as it goes, Christmas was great.
Well, good to hear that. Anyways, the big New Year's holiday just literally a day away. New Year's Eve coming up. Any big plans? Are you going to go out and dance all night long downtown?
No, Kyle.
I picture you in a discotheque for some reason.
No, Kyle, you got this wrong. I'm the old guy over here. I'm the one that's probably going to be working all day tomorrow and then sleeping and having a normal night. You'll be the one that will be actually setting up his arrangements probably sometime here in the next hour so he can party the night away tomorrow.
Already got you beat, bud. They've been locked in since Christmas Day.
See what I'm talking about? There you go.
There you go. Anyways, but though
you gonna bust out the silk shirt with your John Travolta chest hair and all that?
Absolutely.
There you go.
You remember that picture from earlier this year? It's only grown.
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the new year, our couple of our buddies, Christopher Bell and Rico Abreu, have been down under in New Zealand, running some midgets. Been doing quite well with it. I know Rico's been he's been having some fun, and Christopher as well too.
They didn't fly like one of those air carriers over there, did they?
I hope they didn't. No. Fellas, trust us. Take the boat back.
Take Qantas. It hasn't went down yet.
Yeah, stay away from Air Asia right now.
Anyways. By the way, Qantas, if you're listening, that is a gracious plug, and we could use some advertising dollars.
Not only advertising dollars, but if you would ever want to fund an R&R trip or trade out an R&R trip to Australia, Neil and I are game to go. We'll take Ryan with us.
Well, I mean, probably you and Ryan. I mean, that would actually require a plane flight, and I'm not all up for that. Unless Qantas has got a boat or something, maybe like a dinghy that I could float across over on.
You're in rare form today, man.
I'm telling you.
Anyways, we continue to move on and talk about some things. Christmas holiday was great. We appreciate everybody that made some purchases over at www.r-rracewear.com. The ugly racing shirts, Neil, I think it's safe to say were a hit this year. And several people bought a lot of great merchandise, and hopefully they found their way underneath the Christmas tree, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, absolutely. All the fans that jumped on board there and purchased through R&R, it was a great deal. And keep in mind, folks, we still are going to post one of those deals out there where you guys get to spend a night on the town with the famous Kyle Luters next to me there for buying something off the website during December.
We're going to have to come up with a promo for a Neil Quick Saturday at the office type deal, because those days are rather legendary as well. So we continue to move on. Speaking of a guy that had a good Christmas.
Yes.
Joey Saldana, man. All right, folks, listen to this story, okay? Joey Saldana hops in a midget last year for the first time in, gosh, I don't know how long. Brian Clausen, his buddy, fields it for him. Joey goes down, has a ball. He decides, I'm going to build my own car because I want control over where and when I run this thing. So Joey goes around, and he's trading out this net, and there's a cool story that he actually was going to build one several years ago with a gentleman, and now that same gentleman came back and helped him this year. First night out in the thing, he goes out and dominates and wins at the Battle of the Center in DuQoin, Illinois.
Well, I mean, he ran really good, and I think he got a little bit of lady luck on his side there where BC had some trouble, got caught up in a kind of a lap traffic accident, but BC had him covered pretty good there, and Joey was in the right place at the right time and ran really good. I mean, he was a steady number 2 car there, and worked out well for him. First run in that midget to get out there and get a win in it. And it does give him a little bit of momentum going into Chili Bowl, but I'm going to tell you, after watching some of those highlights, everybody better watch out for that Clausen kid.
And Brian Clausen, the defending champion of the Chili Bowl. You toss him in, you toss Joey Saldana in. Oh, by the way, a family named Swindell. You've got a lot of heavy hitters. Now, Chili Bowl entries, I just saw this the other day, up over 300. They can't fit everybody inside.
Well, the real news hasn't come out. I think I've actually entered 200 times of that 316, so hopefully maybe I get a ride before I get down there.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I'm just joking, folks. It's it's cool to see large car count and kind of to reiterate on that Swindell deal. I'm going to tell you, the guys are going to be out gunning for Brian this year.
We talked about it after he retired, but you give Sammy Swindell some time to sit around his place and tinker with those midgets when he's not racing full time, which he has not been.
I just had a vision of Sammy coming up with something like Mario Kart.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, a couple turtle shells and bananas.
He's going to hit a button, him and Kevin both, and there's going to be red turtle shells that come around and rotate on the outside of those midgets.
You know how cool that would be?
Dude. We need to sell that.
You think the car count at 316 would be big? Wait until you get that going. Folks,
We're definitely entering then.
Anybody wants to do a Mario Kart Chili Bowl, please contact me and Kyle. We can get this going here.
We can start a movement. We did so with the ugly Christmas sweaters. So we have the muscle here at R&R to make things happen. But anyways, that good. Congratulations again to Joey. And, oh, by the way, congratulations to his car owner, his wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was probably more excited than Joey, I think. And you know what I think the really funny thing was, though? She actually said she didn't mind Joey having a mistress, and it was the race car.
That's a first. But, no, Shannon's great, and really, really happy for them guys to get out there and get that midget out there, and Joey having some fun and winning it. And I know he's looking forward to Chili Bowl. And good-looking midget, especially with that Tarleton liveries or paint scheme on the car. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really looked good, that black and gray. Kind of looks mean out there, Kyle.
Tarleton always does come back with some amazing-looking paint schemes. We see Tommy Tarleton when he was running. Jason Myers, when he ran the Tarleton cars, always looked good. If you've ever seen their truck and trailer, it's all matte black. Wheels, side of the trailer, tractor, everything is matte black.
Well,
it is scary looking.
I wouldn't go scary looking. I mean, there was a black and white famous number 3 car in black and silver that used to roam around out there. But, I mean, I would probably say that the word that comes to mind, and I'm sure the censored beeper will probably come on to this, but every time I see a Tarleton car, I think first thing it's bad.
Yeah, there is a sensor. We had to use it one more time before 2014 was over. And you know what? I give you credit.
I'm not done with this show. I mean, we might be able to hit it a couple more times, kind of like a chip, a rev limiter.
Did you know that the accounting department charges us $50 every time we use it?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know
There's
that.
$100.
2. Let's keep it going.
So yeah, that's what's coming up that's what happened a little bit in our neck of the woods. Congratulations to all the Team R&R drivers that are out there making some news. We like to see that. Appreciate that. And send us some news if you're out there making it. We want to see it. Neil, something we need to talk about coming up at the end of this week is finally here. The Winter Heat Sprint Car Showdown down at Cocopah Speedway. All the gear and everything, you did a tremendous job working with all the fine folks down there. We have 2 distinct T-shirt designs. We got a great-looking jacket and a full line of sublimated items. Tell us a little bit about them.
Well, it was kind of neat getting to work with Greg out there. Great folks at Cocopah Speedway, and really a neat venue, and super pumped about the Winter Heat Series that kicks off this weekend and follows through the next weekend. We did 2 designs. We did something kind of a new, trendy style, and then we went with the conventional design, and both of them are available in T-shirts and hoodies. And Greg jumped on board and does some really cool merchandise, anything from the kids' flags to shot glasses, license plates, even to the decals. There are some neat items and some jackets available and hats and so on. So be sure, fans that are going out to the event, be sure to get those items before they're gone. Really kind of being the first year for the Winter Heat Series out there. Really a neat deal.
It's a very neat deal, and if you want to check out some of that stuff, we have a commercial and an edition of Hot Off the Press where you can see both. They're on the R&R Facebook page. Just a friendly reminder, you can follow Gas and Glory, become a member of the tribe, a member of Gas and Glory Nation. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube as well.
We have a nation?
Yeah, we're going to start this. There's going to be a Gas and Glory Nation.
Really?
If NASCAR can do it with all the guys that ran the chase, we can do it too.
Wow. I mean,
Hashtag Nation.
hashtag nation. Okay,
We're going for it.
let's go.
We need help. Anyways, moving right. Oh,
probably
one
you
more,
more than me, but
one more thing before we go. I was thinking about this the other day. The racetrack in Somerton, Arizona, is near Yuma, Arizona, right?
yeah, Yuma.
And what size motors are they running in the sprint cars there?
410s, 360s.
410 to Yuma. Bang!
Really? You thought of that all by yourself?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I really split a brain cell on that one.
Yeah, I could tell. Wow. Never mind. Let's. Don't we have anything better? Yeah, we got a whole bunch of better stuff to talk about here, Kyle.
Tulsa shootouts coming up. Record car count for that. That's kind of the prelude to the Chili Bowl.
Well, that car count's going to go down today since it started. I got to withdraw about 200 entries there, too.
You couldn't make the flight down to Tulsa this year?
No, I think I got banned.
It's a Tulsa shootout that's going on down there at the Big Expo Center, which it has a new title sponsor. We're going to have to check on that. I think it's some type of Indian gaming casino now. It used to be the Quick Trip Center.
Yeah.
Then it went back to the Tulsa Expo Center. I think they have a new sponsor for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, in Oklahoma,
If we did our research, we would know this, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, we didn't.
Well, I just thought of it, actually. But I'm going to tell you this. From my time living in Oklahoma, that pretty much you can get anything sponsored in Oklahoma either by a natural gas company or a casino.
Really?
Yeah.
That's about all that's down there, right?
That's about all that's down there.
Really?
So other than that, and then maybe Bob Stoops resigning after the bowl performance the other night, that's all we got to talk about down there anyways. So, yeah, Bob Stoops needs the Chili Bowl to kick off. That way he's out of the news, folks.
No doubt.
We move on. We've been teasing this for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. We waited till the last show of the season. But ladies and gentlemen, it is here now. Get ready for the 2014 edition of the Squealy Awards.
Where's the drum roll?
Don't worry. We had that in post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you totally ruined it. Good job.
Oh, you'll edit it in there?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and swear again so we can get it up to $350?
What happens if I get it to 5?
I think they give us a discount on the sixth one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Only $25.
So we still got plenty of show to make this happen.
Yes, sir, we do. But anyways, the Squealies, these are a few categories that Neil and I came up with that we wanted to start a tradition here on the show, that at the end of each race season, we would kind of go back through the year of racing and honor some of the big moments, some of the dumb moments, some of the unique moments. And we've come up with 7 categories that we're going to hand out Squealies to, which we're working on the actual Squealy itself. There's been some discrepancy between Neil and I as to what they should look like. Neil's idea was very, well, let's just say vulgar.
It got censored just like about 3 or 4 comments already in the show today.
Basically, so we're working on them. But Neil, the Squealies, these are really your awards. And I'm going to chime in as well, too. You know, we both have, I haven't seen your answers. You haven't seen my answers.
Yeah.
But I'm going to toss them out there. I'll read off the first one. You read off the second one. We'll have a little bit of a debate, and we'll kind of go from there. But the first Squealy that we have here today goes out to the best paint scheme. Now, we have pooled most of these answers from the Team R&R drivers. There were a few that we couldn't because there was extenuating circumstances that kind of pushed us into a different direction. But, Neil, who gets the Squealy on your end for the best paint scheme of the season?
Well, again, being sprint car biased a little bit on this deal, I really like 2 paint schemes. One was Justin Henderson's Knoxville paint scheme. The other was Joey Saldana's. Mm-hmm. I was definitely biased in this category because we had a little bit of in the making on Joey's paint scheme this year.
Yeah, designed by one of our artists here.
One of our artists, and thought it was really a trick-looking car, and that's what I went with. I thought the 2014 Joey Saldana Knoxville paint scheme was one of the trickiest paint schemes of the year, and that's what I went with for my choice.
Okay, I'm going to agree with you, and a few of my words I have an honorable mention, but I am going to go with the Squealy for Joey Saldana's Knoxville scheme, but honorable mention, Jamie Lomax in the number 36 modified.
Good looking modified. Lomax
Yes.
does Lomax has always got a great looking modified. The boys over at KBC, Craig, and them guys do a real great job with that. But again, I'm a big fan of Lomax. I think the car really looks good. And there's so many. I mean, you guys out there, we could add 10 or 15 to this list. But as it goes modifieds, Lomax got a good-looking car.
The biggest reason he got the honorable mention from me, in addition to being a good-looking car, he put the R&R Racewear decal on it, all on his own.
Yeah, it's
and it looked good at PRI.
It looked really good. And again, Jamie does really good running-wise, and great folks, and got some stout horsepower under the hood there with the Allens Racing engines, which is a good customer of ours, and good way to go there. Taking and saying Lomax does have a good paint scheme, and I mean, there's several cars, and in the business that we are in doing, we get to see a lot of them, and there's definitely some good-looking cars out there.
All right.
But I'm about to tell you, 2015 is already shaping up to be pretty sharp here.
I've seen a few of the schemes that are getting ready to come out. We did hot off the press the other day. We got a look at Paul McMahon's new scheme. Early favorite, in my opinion, for paint scheme of the year. That number 51 car, it looks bad to the bone.
I got a couple of them that are a little bit top secret on my desk, and I'm going to tell you, there's some sharp-looking cars coming.
Oh, my. Here we go. Squealy number 2, the best race of the season. Neil Quick.
I'm hands down on this one.
Uh-oh.
And I mean, there are some good races, late model races. I mean, honorable mention, and I'll bring it up a little bit later in the show again. The Brian Burkhofer come from behind over Scott Bloomquist Knoxville late model race. That was great. The Chili Bowl, I think Brian Clausen doing what he did down there at the Chili Bowl last year was great. Good race. Swindell was hunting him down, coming back from the end there, Kevin. But I think the best one that stood out in my mind was the closest finish of the year for the World Outlaws.
Mm-hmm.
September at Antioch.
Yep.
You had a hard charge in Kyle Hurst coming after Madsen there at the end. Mm-hmm. And in my eyes, it almost looks like Kyle got him, but Kerry ended up holding on to it by, I think, 5/1000ths of a second. So that was one of the best races. I went back and watched it back and forth. Great racing. Good race at the end there, but that one stuck out in my head as a really good finish there and a good race.
My honorable mention will come from the late model ranks, and I'm going to go with a fellow you mentioned, Scott Bloomquist at the World 100.
Yeah.
Okay. Penalized for an unapproved part, gets sent all the way to the back, and he doesn't lay down. He just drives through the field and then wins the show.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
Very impressive, but my race of the best race of the year is going to be the Knoxville Nationals, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Donnie Schatz started up front in that feature. Everybody thought he was just going to run away with it. I was standing in the tower in the infield with my headset on, ready to run wherever. I was working the pits that night on the PA. I watched Brian Brown pass Donnie Schatz for the lead in turn 2 and then spun around to see the main grandstands at Knoxville in unison come to their feet and start cheering. Still, when I think about it, it just gives me chills. It gives me chills.
Well, it's just the idea and just the atmosphere there, and to be in Knoxville when you have a big lead change like that, the whole place just erupted, and that's great for the sport. And the Knoxville Nationals every year is one of the best races out there, just kind of like we talk about with the Chili Bowl. These are staple events and must-sees, and you got to get out there to see these events if you haven't been there. But it's those type events along with the Kings Royal and some of the big late model events, the World, the Dirt Track Nationals, some of those type of events.
Dirt Late Model Dream.
Dirt Late Model Dream.
USA Nationals.
Yes.
All of them very good races. Certainly plenty of contenders, but...
And definitely, I got to throw the Front Row Challenge. In the past years, it's been a very good event. I look for it to be that type of event again this year. I know McCarl does a very good job at promoting that, and I think he's got some muscle behind it this year.
He's going to have a little more muscle behind it. National Sprint League coming along, and Midwest 410 racing, folks, is only going to get better, which makes us smile because, well, we live in the Midwest. Moving right along, Squealy number 3. This award goes. This is the best.
Well, this is kind of confusing when I was reading.
I know. Hold on. The best talking mouth, but what I do realize is you could have just a talking mouth, but maybe didn't necessarily have the quote of the year. Like, for instance, when you have a conversation with Terry McCarl, it's always memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe he didn't have the best quote of the year. So I was either going to go with the best talking mouth or the best quote of the year. I want to hear what you got.
You know what? I'm going to kind of take a different stance at this. I think my Squealy Award goes to the best talking mouth as a driver out there, promoting the sport, his sponsors, doing as much as he can to keep the sport going. And
You're talking about me and my street stock, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
By the way, how many sponsors have you earned on that street stock?
I actually have 3 sponsors.
3.
Yes.
Mom, dad, and sister?
No, hold on a second here. All-Star Performance.
Okay. Are these paying sponsors?
Yes. There's a guy at my church.
Okay.
And then I started my own company, and I sponsor myself.
Wow.
I got 3 sponsors, though.
That's really cool.
Let's just get back. Come on. Let's get back to this.
Okay. I'm going with the guy I think that has done a lot for sprint car racing, does a lot of promotion to help his team, and I think has been rewarded by his finishes and so on. But every time I hear him talk, I like to hear him talk for the fact that he's always out there promoting the sponsors, promoting the sport. But I'm going to go with Brian Brown.
Brian Brown is best talking head.
Yes.
Gotcha. I can completely agree with that. I'm going to swing the pendulum the other way, and I'm going to go with the best quote of the year. And this is what I believe. This was Donnie Schatz after winning at Fremont. He's in the midst of this great tear where he was winning everything in sight when they came back from the West Coast. Now, that night, if you'll remember right, he timed in pretty well, but in his heat race, he ran into some trouble and had to start the B main, which the Outlaws call the Last Chance Showdown, which I'm still trying to figure out.
Sure.
All that stuff. I mean, what do you call the A main? The first chance showdown? The final chance showdown? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Tom, love you, buddy. Anyway, this was Donnie Schatz's quote after winning the Last Chance Showdown and then winning the feature that night. He goes, "Now the Outlaws will make a rule that you can't win the A if you win the B."
I can see it. I would have to agree with him on that. Sure, it hasn't happened yet, or maybe in the works. But I could feel the frustration a little bit with that part. But it's just one of those rules that they come up to change it.
Well, now my honorable mention, and PJ Peterson, if you're listening, PJ helped me out with this, as well as Stephen Blake Easy. And Stephen we were kind of talking about this, and he gave me the honorable mention. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to tell you at what point in the video that it is. But there is a video out there that a track down in Australia did about, or over Jack Hodenshield. Go watch the whole video. You'll figure out which one it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you'll figure out why it was an honorable mention.
Oh, okay. I got to see this.
Oh, it's quite good. I'm probably going to get fired for mentioning it. All right, this one's near and dear to our hearts. Squealy number 4, the best T-shirt design this year. It's tough.
I know it is. And I looked at a lot of T-shirts and from the past year that we have done, and I went with a clean, simple design that I liked. And why I really liked this was the fact that it had the helmet on the front of the shirt, the driver's helmet.
Yeah.
And it was a clean-looking design, but I'm going to give Paul McMahon's 2014 Knoxville.
Really?
I really like that design.
The Silver Star look.
Yeah, I like the Silver Star look.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was in my top 5 this year, but ultimately when I look back at all the shirts we did this year, and like we said, this is very tough. The one that always got me, and every time I look at it, this was something that was really popular when we were at PRI as well. Shane Stewart Prelude, the first shirt we did that had GoPro on it and everything like that.
Yeah.
That shirt still stops people everywhere it goes. Still is a huge seller on the website.
I have to agree with you. A good, clean-looking design, and just one of those things that stood out. I mean, I've seen a lot of that new trendy stuff, and the same thing with the Paul design. It was a kind of a clean, trendy design, but always a couple things that stand out. I like seeing sometimes the transporters on the shirts.
Yes.
And I thought it was cool to have his helmet on the front of the shirt.
Very much so. We move on to Squealy number 5. I think this is actually when we came up with the Squealies probably a year ago at PRI. It was PRI 2013 when we came up with this one. the Who Stepped on It award. The Who stepped on it this year, Squealy?
Well, and I don't want to really kind of offend anybody in this, and it's hard not to, but my good friend Tim Kading probably wins this award for me this year.
Uh-huh.
And I know that I think that it's one of those deals that he had a chance to have a really good year, and as a year in general, I think he's the one that I give the award to graciously, but I hope that he proves me different this year.
Well, and, it is a hard award because you don't want to beat somebody up when they're down. You don't want to relive a negative event from the past. But Brian Brown gets the award for me.
Okay.
A few weeks before the Knoxville Nationals,
Yes.
Brian Brown's up there battling for the lead at a Knoxville Weekly show, dives into turn number 3, catches the berm up there, slides up, and junks the car he and the team were going to run in the Knoxville Nationals. Now, hurt the motor too. I would say that the car that they built and they brought back for it ran just as good, but you still kind of wonder, was the car that he wrecked a little bit better? You wonder. So that's my stepped on it award. He didn't, it wasn't really a huge negative for him. He still ran well, still won a ton of races, the 360 Knoxville Nationals, all types of things. He won the Jesse Hockett Mr. Iowa Sprint Week title, but still you kind of wonder. You still just kind of wonder. We move on to number 6. This one was kind of a fun one to do, but gutsiest performance this year.
I thought about this one, and I know we talked about the deal with Joey Saldana's injury at Vegas.
Yep.
Going through the heat race and then into the dash and finishing with his arm being hit with the debris there and swelling up, the hematoma deal. And I have that wrote down. But I'm actually going to have to go outside of our customer base a little bit of somebody that we don't deal with. And I'm going to have to give it to Erica Enders at the end of the year.
Ooh, look at that.
At the last race of the year. I sat there and watched it, and she was under tremendous pressure with the Jason Lyons situation, and she lived up to of her true talent and actually clinched the championship, and I'm going to give it to her.
All right, there's Squealy for the gutsiest performance. Mine, you may or may not agree with. I thought about Joey Saldana. There were a few other guys that drove quote-unquote hurt this year. But ultimately, mine has to go to Brad Sweet.
Okay.
Because if you look at what happened to him when I believe he was up in Iowa when he pancaked
Absolutely
a tractor tire wall.
Yeah, destroyed
the car
a car.
split in half. And literally his feet and ankles dangling.
Yeah.
Out of what was left of the car. And when you saw the guy walk forward, and heck, he still might have it, he was walking with a terrible limp. But he got back in that car night after night. So Brad Sweet gets my gutsiest.
Didn't he go out and win the next night or show after that?
Yeah, he was up in Wisconsin, Beaver Dam.
Yeah, I thought he got a win in the next night after that incident.
One of the scariest sprint car wrecks I've ever seen. Cars sheared completely in half. Brad Sweet, definitely gutsiest performance of the year for me. And now we move on to the final Squealy Award for 2014. It is the Where Did He Come From? It's kind of like, I guess you could say, our Rookie of the Year or our upcomer, our new guy. Who's coming up? Where did he come from, or she?
No, I took it as a total different thing, and I took it as where did he come from literally in a race. And I'm going to say Burkhofer in this one.
I won't argue that a bit.
I'm watching this race. Bloomquist has got the Knoxville Late Model Nationals in. I mean, the check's getting made out in his name. And Burkhofer comes off a 4 and wins this thing. And then retires. I mean, how impressive.
Can you say one and done? Not one and done, but one and done. W-O-N. So, yeah, that was very cool. Mine has to go out to a guy that I think we're going to have on this program here before too much longer. His people have reached out to our people. Don't worry, we have people.
We do?
We have people.
Wow.
Okay. But they reached out to us. They want to talk about 2015 plans. We're going to get them on the horn. But the Outlaws returned to Port Royal Speedway. They returned to a lot of different tracks. The Terre Haute Action Track, just to name a few, this year. But the return to Port Royal had that had that extra spice to it because it's Outlaws versus Posse, and it's the final round of the year. And Donnie Schatz is just taking names as he's on his march to his 6th title. He's won over 20 races. I think over 25 at that point. Who's Ryan Smith that beats him at Port Royal? Yeah. We did the double take in the office. Who is this Ryan Smith kid?
Yep.
That wins my award for where did he come from, because I remember reading the Twitter feed that night and going, Ryan who? Ryan Smith. There you go. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, the 2014 edition of the Squealy Awards. We hope that you enjoyed them. I know it was a bit of a rush for us to kind of put them together, but I think hearing what Neil's had to say and kind of what I had on my sheet this year, that we
can only get better next year.
We can only get better next year, but honestly, I think that we did a pretty good job of capturing this year in kind of a nutshell in 7 awards. There was a lot of racing that happened for our guys here on Team R&R, and it really was a pleasure to get the chance to go back and look at all the things that happened this year and really sit here and think and go, wow, that happened.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Definitely, and really excited for what 2015 will bring us here, but got it between winter heat kicking off this weekend and the Chili Bowl. We've got some big races coming up, and going to be some exciting things to talk about.
You're absolutely right. Now, before we get on out of here, Neil, first off, first year of the show, it's been a pleasure doing it with you. Looking forward to doing it again next year. We're having fun. We want to get you guys more involved. But kind of before we close the book, give me your final thoughts here on 2014 from a racing standpoint. Some of the things we saw, we talked about them, but is there anything else that sticks out in your mind that really will make 2014 memorable for you?
Well, I think there's a lot of things. I think that, as every year here at R&R, we get to deal with new customers and meet folks, and it's kind of a pleasure to be able to do that and to work with the race teams and do something that you enjoy and love. And racing is one of the things that brings all these people together, and including us doing the show and our passion for this deal. So I think a lot of that has to do and go a long ways in 2014, and really anxious for 2015 to see what it brings, but excited to get to talk and do more products and get acclimated to bringing more products to our retail fan base, especially through our website. I think we've had a lot of fun with that lately, and really excited for what we have in store for that too. So just ready to go racing and see everybody out the racetrack and talk to them. And definitely, as a show, we like to see more interaction from the fans out there.
Very much so, and we appreciate everybody that's interacted with us this year. And a big thank you once again to all the folks on the retail side of things. Guys, you have made the month of December, from right after Thanksgiving to right now, the most successful period in the history of r-rracewear.com, and that's a credit to you guys. And we love serving you. We love being a part of it. We love doing this show. We've had a great 2014, but Neil and I will both tell you this. Just wait. 2015 is going to be bigger, badder, and better than ever. Right?
Absolutely. We're really excited for what's coming in the future and what's in store. So,
well, for one last time, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to Gas and Glory. And remember, you can pick up our driver's gear at www.r-rracewear.com, the web's largest store for dirt track racing apparel and merchandise. On behalf of everyone here at R&R Enterprises, he's Neil Quick and I'm Kyle Luters. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2015.
You've been listening to Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises. All rights reserved. Please visit the web's largest sprint car store today at www.r-rracewear.com. The views and opinions expressed in the show are the host and guest alone and do not directly reflect those of R&R Enterprises.